Most businesses don't have a marketing problem, they have a clarity problem. And what do I mean by that? I mean they've got a poor USP. In this video I'm going to show you what a USP actually is and why most people get it wrong. And I'm also going to show you how you can create your own one with a real simple strategy that will get you results straight away. So this is where most marketers get it wrong. I'm going to explain this real simple and I've drawn it out on a piece of paper here. So what a USP is not, okay? You see this quite a lot. Someone promoting we've got a high quality service, we've got great customer support, we've got affordable pricing, we care about our customers. I mean, you probably nodding your head thinking that's what we do in our marketing, and you've probably used those terms in your marketing or your ad campaigns. I know you're nodding your head right now, that's why I'm smiling. And the biggest thing to think about is if your competitors can say the same thing as you, then it's not a USP, is it? So a lot of people, I always get asked this, they normally say, well, what is a USP and what does a USP do? Well, I'm going to tell you right now what a USP is, and it's really simple to do. A USP answers one question. Why should I buy from you instead of anyone else? Ask yourself that question. Sit there and write down, why should your customers buy from you and not your competitors? And you need to be able to answer that question. Not why you're good, but why you're different in a way that matters to the buyer. This is a very easy statement to write down and put in your head. Stamp it on the side of the wall and keep reading these back to yourself. Why should I buy from you instead of anyone else? So why should your customers buy from you and not your clients? And not why you're good, but why you are different in a way that matters to the buyer. And also a good way to think about it is how does it matter to the buyer in an emotional response? If you can do it in an emotional response that's dealing with a pain point, which I'm going to show you in a moment, then you're going to get a far better USP. Pain always has a harsher effect or a more effect on a person than what it does if we're trying to deal with happy thoughts or happy sayings in a sentence, if you know what I mean. Just think of it when you get toothache. When you get toothache, it's all you can think about, isn't it? You're not thinking about anything else that's going anywhere else. But let's just say someone says you've done well done, gives you a pat on the back at work, within 2 seconds you forgot about that and you've got to do it again and your dopamine's gone. So use pain with your USP. Now I know what you're thinking, it's Billy, that's great, but how do I create a USP? And I know it's one of them silly buzzwords, but it's good to work with these types of words because the biggest thing you can do with your marketing is have strategy and a system, and one that works from you. This is what works for me, and this is what I do consistently, and this is why I use this system to do a USP the way that I'm doing it. And I'm going to show you how to do it now. So how to create your own USP. Step 1. This is real easy and people miss this step. List what your market hates. So for instance, you just ask yourself what frustrates them. So what frustrates your customers? What takes too long? What do your customers get frustrated about that's slow? In my industry, one of our USPs is we get back to the customer within 24 hours or 12 hours or the same day in certain instances. Okay, one of the biggest things that we find that people is that they can't get hold of the marketer, they can't get hold of their account manager, and they can't get hold of their team. So ours is speed. We will get back to you the same day. What feels risky? Okay, what feels risky, like with us, is we don't sign people up to contracts. That's a risk. Okay, you're signing someone up into a contract for 3 months, or you've got to sign a deal for 3 months. That's too risky for customers in my industry. So we don't do that. We roll it up and throw it in the bin. Gone. Then that keeps all the buying resistance out and people are like, oh, okay, that's less risky. What do they complain about? What do they complain about? Well, they complain about, in my industry, some of the things that I've just said. So take too long to get a response. The marketing manager is getting swapped around on their account. They're not getting results is a big one, but you can't really use that as an USP. You'd have to make that into more of an emotional statement rather than just saying we get good results. Your USP usually lives inside a frustration, and that's what we're doing here in these questions. So you need to write those down in your industry, and you'll be able to find the answers to these questions, and you're going to be well on your way to achieving step 1. Now, step 2, identify what you do differently. Now, what you can do from what you've just spoken about on the next page, you can use some of these. Okay, so what I just said, faster. If you can see on this bit of paper, we'll just go to the other shot because we're so technically savvy here. Identify what you do differently. So not better, but differently. This is really important. A lot of people just think you can't really do a lot by saying, oh, we're better. It's like, why are we better? Right, we're better a level deeper because we do this differently. Because when we've spoke to our customers, they get frustrated with this, and we do it a different way, which has got us this result. Do you get what I'm saying? So you just have to re-engineer that a little bit and think about it. So here's a few examples. Faster, simpler, more hands-on, more done for you, a more specific niche. All right, so when it's faster and simpler, so think about those 5 things that I've just said there. I mean, you can have, there's other examples, but I'm just making it nice and simple for 5s. What do you do better? What do you do differently? Not better, all right? And that's really important in step 2, all right? Step 3, now you're gonna put everything together for your USP, all right? Not USB, USP. Right, step 3, combine this sentence formula. This is really easy. Again, I'm normally the stupidest person in the room, so I have to make things really simple. Stupid is what my cousin Clinton used to say to me. Billy, keep it simple, stupid. And that's why I come up with these silly little formulas. Well, they're not silly because they work, and they help you follow certain tasks to get the result that you want with a strategy like this. So, what does that mean? Combine this sentence formula, right? So give them something tangible in your USP formula. So an example, I help a specific person get a specific result without specific pain or frustration, okay? So just let that sink in. I help a specific person get, so that specific person, you would put your customer in it. Who would be your customers? I'll give you a real good example in a minute. Get a result without the pain and the frustration of what you've just written. You take it from your list from the last step 2 and step 1, okay? So here's an example. This is what we do. We help local service-based businesses get consistent leads without relying on referrals or guesswork, okay? So they'll relate to that. So again, ours is, we help local service-based businesses, so people that are a service, that go and do something, so plumbers, restaurants, anything that has customers visiting them or buying a product or a service, a service, not a product, consistent leads without relying on referrals or guesswork. We actually do products. It could be an online product that we're selling that fixes a problem, and we just run the same system to get to the same answer with our USP that way, okay? So if you haven't got that, just write that down, all right? Give them something tangible with a USP formula with the sentence formula to create your USP. So now I'm just gonna touch on some common mistakes. I'm looking down here because I'm trying to read my writing. I can't even read it. Hopefully on the top down there you can see it clearer than what I can actually read it. Maybe I need some glasses. Common mistakes, all right, that get made with a USP. All right, you've got to keep it relatable. So trying to appeal to everyone. Now, if you've been on my social media for a long time, I always say this, marketing to everyone is marketing to no one. I'm going to give you a real good example now. We're in the jungle and there's a lion, and the lion's roaring and he's shouting. And a rabbit comes up to him, Mr. Rabbit, and he says, why are you shouting so loud? He said, because I want everybody to hear me. Everybody to hear me so they know that I'm a lion and they can see what I do. So the rabbit went away and he had a little think about it. He thought, well, I don't feel very noticed. I don't get a lot of attention. So what the rabbit did the next morning at the crack of dawn, the rabbit got up and he was trying to make a noise like a lion. And in all the quietness, he was trying to roar, and he sounded not like a lion, but he was making a real old racket. And then what happened? The fox heard him and the fox come along and ate him. That wasn't the customer that he wanted, was it? And that's what I mean by marketing to everyone is marketing to no one. So you have to find the people that you need to speak to. The rabbit was trying to speak to everyone and all he did was ended up being the fox's dinner. Being vague is another thing that you shouldn't do, because what happens if people have to try and think too much to understand what your product is or what you're saying or what you do, that uses more brain power, they get annoyed and they just disappear and they don't take action. Leading with features instead of the outcomes. This is a big one. Again, we always see you sell benefits, not features. When we say features, we mean things like we've been in business 25 years. Like that's a feature, all right? That's not good. That's not selling an outcome. Okay, selling the outcome is we've been in business for 25 years and we've worked with over 150 different types of customers and we've actually been able to generate over 1.2 million pounds worth of profits for construction firms that we work with. This has enabled them to grow and scale their business, employ more people, and keep their bottom line nice and high with high profit margins. That's quite long what I've just said there, but you can see what I'm saying. It's the outcome, not the feature. Another one not to do is don't copy your competitors. All right, try and be original because your customers will work out what you're doing straight away and you won't really get anywhere. The thing I'm going to leave you with on this page is if your USP sounds safe, it's probably weak. So spend a bit of time going through it. And really try and dial in what about your USP is. Try and dial it right in tight and don't be safe. Be brave is what I say. And just to leave you then, if you're struggling to sell, it's rarely your ads or your offer. It's that people don't immediately understand why you matter. And that is the message that you've got to get across with your USP. All right? Like and subscribe, like the video if you got some value out of it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will see you on the next video.